This episode, we're going to go ahead and change the oil on my 1992 Catalina 42. If you like this video, please subscribe and hit that like button. It really helps me out. Hey guys, so today I'm going to continue with a couple boat projects. The first thing I want to do is get an oil change. Well, I know the owner took really good care of this boat. I took it over to Catalina one time. The oil looks great, looks clean, but just for my own state of mind, I want to go ahead and change the oil. So I've ran the engine for about 10 minutes just to get it warm, and then we'll kind of walk you through the process of what I'm going to do on my Yanmar engine. Now my engine has right around 2,100 hours on it. It was used quite extensively in the past. It was maintained professionally, and so I'm hopeful not to really have any big issues, but my goal is to just do a quick oil change on it and take you along with me. Now my motor is the Yanmar 4J2E. The oil filter that I'm going to use is the actual Yanmar oil filter, and it's 35170. As far as switching it out, a couple key things that you really want to make sure that you do, which I've already done, is I've gone ahead and warmed up the engine oil just a little bit for about 10 minutes. You don't want it to be too hot, but you want it to be at least viscous enough to be able to suck out the majority of the oil. You're never going to get all of it, but you'll get a good majority of it. So I went ahead and did that prior to starting the video, and then we'll just kind of go through it, and hopefully it won't take too long. But as with any boat projects, you just never know what you're going to find. Now, as you can see, my oil filter, it's kind of hard to tell here, is right down there under a couple hoses, and then we'll actually suck the oil up from where the dipstick is. But if you come around to the back side here, you can see I've got a little bit better access to it right here. I just need to move a couple hoses and then go ahead and replace that. Now it's just draining. You can see it coming up, and drain as much of it out as we possibly can. So this process just takes some patience. You know, you can't really rush it. You want to get as much oil out as possible. So I actually switched over to a little bit smaller inlet tube. See if I can get a little further down into the oil pan. Like I said before, you're not going to get all of it out, but you want to try to get as much of it as possible. So we were able to get the oil filter on. You want to just hand tight. You'll see in the video I always try to put a little oil just around the gasket. First of all, you want to make sure that you have a gasket, you got it off of the old filter, and then you want to make sure that the new one has one on. And the reason we put that little bit of oil there is just to help it kind of slide on so it gets a good seal. But really hand tight is all you need. you know, just enough, and then we'll run it and make sure it doesn't have any leaks or anything after that. The other thing I did is I marked on the filter when I changed it, because I'll never remember, and I put how many hours were on the engine at the time. So a little tricky to get it out of there, a little bit more difficult than I thought it was going to be, but all in all I think it took about 8 minutes, so not too bad. So now I just need to replace the oil that I took out. One of the first things I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and replace the dipstick and just see how much oil is still in there and if anything's registering. So nothing's really registering on the dipstick, so now we know where we're at there. Like with any other good boat owner, we learn tricks from each other, and I saw this one be the first time I've tried it, but looked like a pretty handy trick, so I'm going to go ahead and try this. And hopefully it keeps me from making a mess. Start there, and some more of what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and run the engine for a little bit, get some of that oil into the new oil filter, and just get it warmed up a little bit, and then I'll go ahead and top off the oil. The one thing you want to really be careful with is that you don't overfill it, so I want to make sure that I don't do that. So I'm going to run it for just a little bit, then I'll come back, check it, top it off so that I'm good, and then pretty much the project's done. Now I'm going to replace the pad underneath here, but one thing that I really like, and it'd be hard for you guys to see, but let's see if I can do it, is underneath here where that pad is. You can kind of see the pad there. Let me see if I can get a different view at it. So underneath here where the pad is located, they actually took a piece of plastic because the hole is V-shaped. So what they did is they took a piece of plastic, almost like a cutting board, and placed it underneath the pads. Let's see if I can get a good look at it. And so what that does is that allows any water from the shaft that drips water, and it allows it to actually run underneath the pads, so the pads don't get all wet, and then the grease that comes, that is definitely always going to be a little bit, that gets on these pads doesn't absorb into the water, and the water doesn't go in the bilge. So it actually, the water flows underneath where the pads are, which I thought was a great idea. And so it's getting a little hot down here. It's a great day in Long Beach, but I'm actually getting a little sweaty working down here. I opened up a couple vents to get some breeze through here. But all I got left to do now is go ahead and put the steps back in, and this project is done. Thank you guys so much for following me on my adventures. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and follow me for some great upcoming California coastal cruising.